Hello, I'm Matt Hernandez. Welcome to Let's Chat Books. I was hoping that we could chat about Chinua Achebe's short story Civil Peace. I got this short story out of this book. I assume it's one of my college textbooks. I really don't remember. It has this use sign and stuff. Maybe I got it from college. I did not read it in college, and I kind of suspect that I never read it before in college and stuff because maybe my professors didn't know how to approach the story, just as I don't know how to approach the story. And I don't just mean that because if you look at me, if you look at my eyes right now, man, I just woke up. I was hoping that morning time would provide me with better natural lighting, which it does not seem to have done. I wish it'd be brighter in here. If you saw how I have the lights on in this room, you would laugh. You would laugh. It is kind of funny, but hopefully, it gives me passable lights and stuff. For what I want to do for these videos, or often want to do, it is quite hard to provide a kind of context with my own life, or anything to pull from. I mean, I was in the Navy for 4 years, but I cannot relate to this. I can relate a little bit to somebody worried about being mugged, for instance. I would hear that in San Diego, if the if one's ship was at one of the two contractors near 32nd Harbor Street, people would say it could be dangerous to walk around there at night or to have your car parked outside of it. And I would hear about people's cars being stolen even after the warnings. And so when I got my first car, basically the only car I've ever had, I would leave it in base and I would just walk and I would just walk it in the afternoon after work. Because I wasn't going to risk losing my car or something like that. And there's a little bit of that here, worrying about losing one's bike, and a person in a raggedy police uniform. I mean, I'd be quite embarrassed to share every detail, but I mean, I had been kind of scammed before at an airport years ago by somebody wearing a raggedy uniform, and not police, just kind of somewhat passable for an airport uniform. So I had that happen to me years ago, but it's quite hard to find something to go about to discuss in part of this story. I actually had to listen to some readings of this story here on YouTube just to hear it sort of naturally read out loud, and that helped out quite a bit because I've known people in real life to say that they don't like it when stories try to write pronunciations that way it sounds like whatever accent and that kind of thing. And you definitely get that in around the end of the story. So I guess I'll read it, and I guess that'll be the easiest part of this story to show a page on the screen. I guess it's what people would remember most of. So it says, the second time the knocking came, it was so loud and imperious that the rickety old door could have fallen down. "Who is knocking?" he asked then, his voice parched and trembling. Not thief, man, and him people," came the cool reply. "Make you open the door." This was followed by the heaviest knock of all. When I listen to somebody read this on YouTube, I can almost hear it. It wasn't like some kind of audio drama, but they did an incredibly good job. I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I read "make you open the door," it might not immediately come to my mind. "Make you open the door," but when I heard a reading of it, it was wonderful, wonderful. Maria was the first to raise the alarm. Then he followed in all their children. "Police, oh! Thieves, oh! Neighbors, oh! Police, oh! We are lost! We are dead! Neighbors, are you asleep? Wake up! Police, oh!" This went on for a long time, then stopped suddenly. Perhaps they had scared the thief away. There was total silence, but only for a short while. "You done finish?" asked the voice outside. Make we help you small, oh yeah, everybody." Then they all sort of join in as a choir, all the thieves outside. "Police, oh, thief man, oh, neighbors, oh, We done lost? Oh. Police? Oh. There was at least 5 other voices besides the leaders. Jonathan and his family were now completely paralyzed by terror. Maria and the children sobbed inaudibly like lost souls. Jonathan groaned continuously. Yeah, it's quite a frightening scene. And where I live, it's I'd say extremely safe where I currently live now. Um, I mean, you still have to have some consideration for one's own safety. I mean, lock your doors at night or whatever like that. But um, still comparatively where I live now versus, most anywhere in the US, it's incredibly safe and I cannot relate to some of these things in the story. So if I want to focus on short stories and some of this stuff, if I want to really show some pages on the screen and that kind of thing, it can be difficult with some of these stories. So I'd like to know maybe what you think of the story Civil Peace by Chinua Achebe. It is quite interesting. It is quite interesting. I cannot relate to part of this thing here. So they move to another place, and does he just sort of claim a house? I don't know. This is sometimes the interesting thing with short stories, right? That sometimes, they're almost so quick that you can almost miss something. Or I do feel like the author, that this story wasn't just a piece of fiction he made up. I feel like there's enough cultural context here that different pieces of these things happen to different people. So he sort of pieced this together from different stories, and this very much could have happened to somebody. But there's quite a bit that I have a bit of trouble understanding. And this is definitely something that it would be nice to chat with people about, I've hosted these English corners, and, I've had an African person or two come along, and maybe I could ask them about some more context of this. It is quite a fascinating story, and every time I've listened to it, because I had to listen to it several times to try to make this video, every time I listened to it, I got a little bit more out of it. It is short, but still quite fascinating. Okay, I don't have much more to say other than to repeat myself and ramble on some more, so have a wonderful day, and let's chat about books again some other time. Bye.